Renewable energy is good for both the environment and the economy. It creates jobs and reduces our dependency on imported fossil fuels. The renewable sector has grown dramatically in the last 20 years, especially around wind and solar energy. Even faster growth is predicted in the coming years, with offshore wind driving the change. However, solar and wind energy is not always available when we need it. Solar energy is only available on clear days during daylight, while wind energy is even less predictable, often leaving us with no wind when our demand for energy is high. The more renewable energy we generate, the more important it becomes for us to manage our natural supply of energy. Key to addressing this challenge will be the availability of grid infrastructure, enabling the transmission of electricity from production to consumption areas. There are plans to install thousands of kilometres of overhead lines and underground cables across Europe. By interconnecting wider areas, there will be smaller imbalances between supply and demand. Consumers have a growing number of demand response options available to them, changing the amount or the timing of their energy consumption to benefit from lower prices. This will also help shift electricity consumption to the periods in the day when renewable energy is available. But the ultimate tool for making sure that renewable electricity is always available to us, regardless of the weather or the time of day, is electricity storage. There are different technologies for storing electricity. The most widely used is pumped hydro, where water is pumped up a hill when electricity is available, and electricity is generated when the water comes back down again. Other storage technologies include batteries and compressed air. And new options are also being developed. For example, using electricity to produce hydrogen or methane, then feeding this into the grid for natural gas. Each technology has different advantages and applications, but what they all have in common is problems with operating effectively within the current European market. The stoRE project studied the market and regulatory framework at the European Union level and in 6 target countries to identify a series of possible improvements. Several events have been organised across Europe so experts could hold debates, contributing to the discussion and the information collected in a wide consultation process regarding the issues around electricity storage.
The barriers have different nature. They have to do with market and regulatory issues, and then also there are environmental aspects that have to be taken under consideration.
There's public opposition against large-scale energy storage projects, especially in rural areas. There are technical questions that has to be answered. For example, which potentials in which countries can we use? And what are new technologies that pushing into the market that can be applied as well?
At present we have capacity problems in the market in general, and we need to think about some kind of capacity mechanism having to be implemented.
There are different ways of storing electricity. There are batteries, but batteries have different issues. They're a bit more expensive. They cannot go to very large scale, but they are useful for different applications. You can have a battery at your home and store your solar electricity and use it whenever you need it.
In general, with higher PV shares in the electricity mix in Europe, more and more flexibility will be needed in the system. So definitely storage is one of the options that can be used to support PV integration in the electricity system in Europe.
We have calculated that for meeting our targets, for having more than half and even higher of our electricity coming from renewable energy, we would need as high as 10 times more electricity storage than we have today.
The stoRE project has engaged a range of stakeholders in an open and constructive debate. Several supporting documents have been produced, assessing future energy storage needs, analysing the environmental impacts and outlining recommendations for an improved market and regulatory framework, all contributing to a smooth transition to a sustainable energy system.